like it's not reading it at all.
Yeah, separate the pocket so you don't see
Do you want an XLR cable and a lav mic?
Is that?
I have one you can borrow.
How about now? Separate them a little bit.
Oh, he has a cord. Hold on. Sorry.
Sorry about this.
Well, we already had our 6 o'clock news test, so I don't think any of us are in a rush.
It looks like it's picking up now.
Okay.
Is it good?
Yeah, we're back on. Well, it just was. What the heck? Okay. It's like going in and out. So
just use the A2 too.
Where's the literally just use this.
He has like a cord.
Yeah,
maybe use that. Yeah.
Just put it on the ground.
Hey, let me just run and grab my stick mic out of my car real fast. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. It's the reverse. I'm going to take this one off.
Yep.
Is there any other one that I can take out? Off?
Yes. You can take ours off. This. Yep.
Thank you.
Sorry about this, guys.
It's fine. We all expect Diet Coke after this.
You pick that up.
Sorry.
Last time I tried to open it, it died. Hey, for effort, man. Yeah, you know, I did a good deed, right? That's right.
Can I ask you, are you anybody running right now?
No.
Yeah, CNN's got my feed.
No, I mean, is anyone live right now?
Yeah, currently. I'm live still on CNN.
Not supposed to be live. My feed is blank.
Our Facebook Live won't work. I know, it's bizarre.
I don't have the lungs or the need for that anymore. Okay. Is that other one turned off?
That's what we're going with.
Where's the other Bob?
Yes.
Okay.
No worries. Appreciate it, man.
Perfect. Go for it.
Good evening. Just after 4:30 this afternoon, IMPD officers were called to the 1100 block of West 30th Street for a person shot. As officers arrived, they immediately located at least 3 people shot here at the scene. Each person had injuries that were consistent with gunshot wounds, and based on evidence at the scene, we believe this was multiple gunshots had been fired at the scene. As officers arrived, they were assisted by Indianapolis Emergency Medical Services. They located a 16-year-old female who was transported to Eskenazi Hospital. She is listed as stable condition. A second victim here at the scene was transported to St. Vincent Hospital. He was also listed, he's an adult male, listed in stable condition. A third victim here from the scene was a juvenile female, 4 years old. She was transported here from the scene to Riley Hospital. She is listed in critical condition. She will remain in that condition until further information. Shortly thereafter, we received information that we had 2 people walk into Methodist Hospital at separate times within moments of each other. Each one of them had injuries that were consistent with gunshot wounds. We believe that both of those people involved were here at the scene at one point or another. Preliminary information shows us that an unknown male got out of a vehicle, approached another vehicle that was parked in the parking lot next to the funeral home. A verbal altercation began, at which point the one male began firing shots throughout the parking lot and around the truck. At this point in time, that person left the area prior to police officers arriving. We are still gathering information. This is still early on. Detectives are here at the scene. They are gathering information from, of course, video surveillance from the area, along with people who were here at a funeral, attending a funeral at business. It's a shame, here we are at a funeral home where a family is gathered to send their condolences to their own family, and next thing you know, we have additional people injured. This isn't a way that Indianapolis operates. We need to think about our actions, think about what we do. And this is an important time for anyone in this area that if you saw something, if you know of something, it's important to come forward. This is a 4-year-old little girl that was a victim here in this situation, and she's in critical condition. It's important that we think about that. These are our futures. We have to be the mentors for those that are of the younger generation. And so this is a perfect time for us to step up and stand up and show the younger generation what needs to be done and the proper way to do it.
Can you talk about the car behind us? How is that connected to what's going on?
So from information that I'm gathering is that the mother of the child was attempting to take the child to a nearby hospital. As officers arrived, of course, she's in no condition to be able to drive her child to the hospital. IMS took over from there.
Okay.
Do we know if the family, the victims, are they connected at all to the family that was inside the funeral home?
We believe that 1 or 2 of the victims were from inside the funeral home. We believe that the altercation also occurred with someone from inside the funeral home. Exactly what each person's role is right now is still yet to be determined. Detectives are standing just down there in the scene, and everybody is getting interviewed. Everyone's getting spoken to. People are still arriving for the funeral, and we're trying to, be comparable to their needs too. I mean, they have a funeral going on for a loved one.
All shots were fired outside the funeral home. Nothing was fired inside the building.
Yes, right now we believe that everything occurred in the parking lot directly east of the building.
just one shooter believed to be right now?
Initially, yes.
Any information on them you can provide to the public?
Not at this time. Preliminary information, like we said, there was an altercation. We have to decipher exactly what happened. They're still watching video from the areas to make sure that we get the most accurate information to everybody.
The 3 people that transported, were they all in that truck? Were they all in that vehicle or around that area, or was it a larger, were they 50 feet away or farther
We
away?
know that they were in the parking lot. If you have a visual of the parking lot, it's actually just it's a very narrow parking lot. Only cars parked on this side and just a 2-way lane in between.
Was someone specifically targeted, or was?
We don't believe this is a random act. We do believe that, of course, this stemmed from some type of disturbance or disagreement between 2 people. As we've been talking about for several weeks, pulling a weapon is no way to solve a problem. Now you have just induced a problem, not just for themselves, but you've affected not just one family, but multiple families.
The funeral that's going on today, is that a gunshot? Is that a victim of a crime or anything like that?
No. We checked into that also, and that is not a victim of any type of serious crime or violent crime in Indianapolis.
Are you able to tell us the relationship between these victims yet, or too early?
It's too early to tell. We do understand that most of the people who was involved was in that parking lot. It wasn't anyone randomly down the street. Everybody was in that parking lot, so we know they were there for the funeral or for someone going to the funeral.
Was the suspect going to the funeral as well?
We don't know that yet. That's still, there are so many things that it takes time in an investigation. After being there in investigations, I understand that, everybody wants answers right now, but sometimes even just us, from the time I got this run to the time I got here, information has changed to the point where we get it the most accurate for you guys.
Was the mother of the child, was she struck by gunfire too?
No, she was not. Just the child was. So she was trying to get the child help immediately, which any parent would want to do. And we respect that and we want to help them. But unfortunately, when you're in a critical situation, you're faced with the worst thing that you could see is your child hurt in front of you. You're in no condition to drive a vehicle. That's a 2,000-pound weapon. And we want you to get there safely. And the faster that we can get you medical services, the better. And having an ambulance here and putting them in there is the most important.
I know sadly this isn't the first juvenile that's struck. What's your message for people tonight watching? It's heartbreaking.
Again, I have to remind everything, we're mentors. We are what the children are watching. They see our actions. So if this is your action, they're going to see that and they're going to do that. So be the mentor that you want them to grow up to be. Be that person. Be the successful person. And when I mean successful, that you are a productive part of society.
The 2 people who walked themselves into the hospital, are they expected to be okay?
Yeah, they're both in good condition, good, stable condition. None of the other injuries are life-threatening except for the 4-year-old.
Any idea how many people were in the parking lot when this all happened?
No, it's still yet to be determined.
Just one person fire shot. Did anyone return fire or anything like that?
We believe right now that one person fired shots. That is still under investigation until we are able to collect, all the evidence and be able to decipher a little bit more video. Then hopefully we'll be able to answer that question. But right now, as we believe, it should be just one shooter.
The suspected gunman, did he drive away in the car that he pulled up in?
No,
Or he ran
actually
away?
that vehicle left prior to the incident occurring. So I don't know if this was maybe an Uber driver or someone who dropped them off. It's still important that if they have information, please call the homicide office or the aggravated assault office. In this situation, Detective Gray is going to be the detective and can help with that information. Anything that we can give to the detectives is helpful, even if it's just as little as, hey, I was the Uber driver, or the Lyft driver, or the taxi driver that dropped this person off. The detectives might have a couple questions, and your information could help us lead to solving this.
Any idea which direction he ran when all this happened?
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you.
Was the chief making any comments